Happens to me all the time.
All better.
Already feeding. Already feeding.
All better.
We're literally already feeding. So, do you guys remember the Reddit write-up I did for Doomfist? Did any of you guys see that? If you did, do you guys remember, what was the title? What was the title? What was the main focus of our Doomfist a little write-up? Here's the thing, is like Doomfist main, split late, early works too, just a bit trickier. So in other words, you want to be engaging on the enemy team from a split so that you're not running into like McCree flashbang, Reinhardt shield, like they don't see you coming as much. But also you're playing a hero that is very mobile, but who can be poked out early. In other words, if you're like super split way out in the open, the Diva can poke you out, the McCree can poke you out, the Lucio can poke you out. If they're running a Tracer, a Ball, Diva, Echo, they can poke you out. But right now, you guys have the map. There's no reason for you not to be here if this is where you guys are killboxing. Like I would be like, you guys, you'd see them rotating left right now. I would already be moving up. I'd already be moving up here. If they go up the stairs, obviously you have to push away. But if they just go straight to point here, you optimally, and Vegeta, you can use your judgment here. You would be here and you do one of two things. Either the Doomfist mirrors you and you smack him and you just beat him up because you're better at Doomfist than he is. And also see how he's walking into your space to where you could like actually 2v2, like 2v6 this guy, you know? Or you drop slam. Or you drop punch, or you drop uppercut, then punch and slam away. Or you'd probably, in this instance, probably drop slam or drop punch would be your best option, right? Those are usually the best options here. But like, look at how free this map is, dude. Like, look at how free this map is. Look at how free this Lucio is. And even if you don't get the one shot, the amount of chaos and disruption that you'd create, the amount of pressure that you'd put out would instantly just win you guys this fight. Instead, you're dropping and punching directly at the enemy team from main, despite the fact that you have high ground and can engage from literally wherever you want. Right? That's like having a gym membership and deciding to do lift the couch instead. Why? You have all this, hydrate, thank you. Like you have all these tools available to you and instead you go to the floor. And the worst case scenario, like I said, you could just outduel the Doomfist. Like you're a better Doomfist and your BAP can see you and their BAP can't see him. So like, you guys could just chill, kill the Doomfist, force him back to his team and then engage after that. Yeah, excuse me. So, no, this doesn't work. This is how you get CC'd / do no pressure. I mean, what did I tell you? You haven't done jack. You've almost died twice, and you haven't done jack. Splitting late, okay, let me rephrase it. Splitting late is what you do against more dive-oriented comps, because if you get split too early, they'll poke you out and they'll scout you. So you stack with your team, and then right before they engage, you split. Against this comp, you could probably get away with splitting early, because they don't have as much mobility / dive.
Amplification matrix ready.
Yeah, right as the fight starts, you should be looking for a split engage. Right? So this is where I'll have a little bit more patience, because you're like, oh, I'm engaging right at the front line instead of, you know, like you know, punching across here and something. But like you didn't have time to set up much at all. I'm trying to think how you would set up here. Maybe you could drop punch from like here. I think this would be a really nice little engage to come from. You could also let them walk through the choke more and then slam from up top here. But yeah, this is just top. That's just a bad engage from your team. Don't worry about it so much. Now, once again, we're in a position to where we have literally the entire, we have the entire ballroom to just kind of pick and choose where we want to engage from. So two things that you have to pay attention to: when your team is going in, and right now where. So this is where, as a Doomfist, if you're, especially because you're scrimming with these guys, there's no excuse for you not to be guys saying, guys, where are we fighting? Where are we fighting? Where are we fighting? Like what's the ult plan? Where are we going? Because you need to set up around that. If you guys are holding this choke, you should be here. If you guys are gonna fight them here, you should probably be like under here, or like hanging around here, right? If you guys, or you could be even hiding in here, right? If you guys are gonna fight here, you could be up on here. This is a great location. If you guys are gonna give them all the way to cart, you could also still be up here, but it's easy. You might get cleared. So for more conservative position, you could be lurking inside this room right here, right? And then, you know, punch like this. Okay. So let's see, like, if you guys are on the same page with that, because in a scrim, it's an equal part team. And obviously your team might not know exactly where they're fighting. It depends on what the enemy team does as well. But you need to know, are we holding close? Are we holding far away? It's the same thing as Mei. Like, are we playing this really aggressively in this choke, or are we giving up more space? Our options are twofold here. You can either punch with your team, or you can split. Now, the splitting is risky because it's a little bit far from your team, and it's where McCree can match you, and you might die to McCree. So you can do this. Let's say if they're not playing McCree, or they're not playing a range DPS here, or you don't run, or you just like, you know what, screw it, we're just going to go for it, right? You can make this work. It's a little risky, but you can make this work. Now, you instead go with your team. That's okay. That's fine, as long as you're synchronizing this with your team. The key thing though is after you punch, you need to disengage. Do you notice where we disengage to? We disengage to high ground. So what does this mean for our next engage? This means our next engage is going to be basically 50% better, 50% more valuable. So we started on main because we couldn't split safely. And then as soon as we got the opportunity to, we look for a split. We successfully get a split. And now your next engage is flipping scary. Even if you drop punch this, again, it's right back to high ground, up again. And now your next engage, they're screwed. Very nicely done. Now I want to see more of that. Zarya over D.Va. I mean, Zarya makes it so that your Doomfist engage is stronger, but it means that you deny the enemy Doomfist a little less. In other words, our Doomfist staged in this high ground for free. If they had a D.Va, the D.Va would boost her up here and get rid of the Doomfist off of high ground, which means that Vegeta would have had to punch bot on main over. Well, it would have been a lot harder to off angle versus a D.Va. So Zarya enables your Doomfist to do more, but it also is harder to like pressure out the enemy Doomfist from off angles. Hey, Black. But like, this is what I'm talking about. You're with your team. You're synchronizing your pressure with your team. But this shouldn't work. And this is how you die. Doing stuff like this. Directly in front of the enemy team. In front of your own team. Excuse me, in front, like before your own team is even doing anything. Okay, so yeah, you should always be going in with your team. You should never go in by yourself, like especially because you don't have bubble. You're literally gonna get killed over and over again. You're gonna get killed over and over again. So you need it. Your timing here. I'm glad that that's fixed, but also your engage here is trash. Front slams suck, like actually suck. Can't happen. Sometimes Ryan, sometimes me. I was doing it first and after he changed, so Ryan goes in first. He calls it now. Okay, so that might be helpful for you, because that will always tell you when and because like the thing with Doom is you can always go in. Like you can always go in. You can always find a kill. You can always pursue. But if you can get it so that your Reinhardt is calling your pressure window cycles, you'll know whether you're going to get the follow up that you need. Because if your Reinhardt can pressure a little bit, you can pursue that kill like there on the Doomfist, and you can commit your ultimate on backline and just know that I'm going in. But if your Ryan says, oh, I can't back because I fell off of high ground, then you know, okay, I'm not going to pursue for that Doom kill, right? But you guys need to try and get on the same page here. So a little bit of like team stuff bleeding into our individual review, but honestly, because it's a scrim, that's pretty normal. I mean, do you see what he's trying to do, though? Like, there's a reason why he's trying to do this. Like, it's because if he's able to get here quietly and engage from here, the amount of pressure that I mean, look at it, look at what's going on here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how many members of your team are chasing this. This is where I think that you need to learn from this guy's example, but just do it better. The only reason this didn't work is because this guy's like noisier than you know. Noisier than a mime on break. How about that? How about that? Okay. All right. But see, like, if you guys are gonna push through this choke is gonna be absolute misery to push through if you don't split here. And the obvious easiest split is for you to just go through turret and do this number. Like, look at this. Oh my gosh. If you guys like, look at how much attention your Ryan is getting. Do you think, let's say this Doomfist does an off angle. Let's say he's a moron, or they're running Mei or something. With your Ryan and D.Va playing this aggressive, do you really think that this McCree is gonna land this flashbang? Do you really think this McCree is going to land this flashbang? There's no way. And if he is, he's got some serious downtime on your tank pressure. And your team will still probably be able to support you. So this is where, again, especially when you're walking through a choke, this is not a hard split. And if you run into a Doomfist here, beat him in the 1v1. I know you can do it. You're a better mechanical Doomfist than this guy. I know it. So beat him and then go kill backline. Right, exactly. So you need to be looking for these quick, short splits on these engages more consistently. And then when you have the map, in other words, if you guys are team red, you don't even need to look for short splits. You could be literally hiding in here, you know, because you already have the map. So you can basically play it. Now, they might scout you. That's the risk. But they have to actively make effort to scout you out. And then when you're retaking space, you can split quick and early. If you can't split quick and early, like we saw here, you do start with your team, but you start with your team with the intention of looking for splits later in the fight. So you actually finding Doomfist here is by accident is actually a good play, because it means that you and your Doomfist are like tracer dueling, basically. You're fighting on the off angle. And if you can prevent him from getting to your backline, then you guys might actually survive again. I mean, you can also mix it up, right? You can creep under here, uppercut, and punch this Reinhardt off the high ground. I don't know, can you do that anymore with the steadfast buff, right? But that would be immense value. Or come up here and slam in here if you've got ult, or come uppercut, or like honestly like walk through here and charge a punch from here, right? If you can creep around at the right time, you know. So there's so many ways of doing this. That was better. I would have liked it again if you'd come from an angle, but yeah. You guys really needed to contest and hold high ground. The fact that you guys all got booped off or fell off is pretty bad. Ooh, that is also pretty bad. That is also really bad. You really needed to get to high ground. Because remember, this is your staging ground. This is your launching ground. This is like an overweight person or someone who's struggling with their health, basically making sure that they have setting and structuring out their diet and their sleep schedule. Forget working out, don't forget it, but don't worry so much about the working out. Don't worry about how much or what you're eating, but you're setting a good baseline structure so that the rest of the team fight is going to go easier. Right now, getting to this good position allows you to, everything that follows up afterwards, your decision making, your target priority, your cooldown usage, if you're in a good position, it helps everything. It helps everything, and you need to get here. Remember, you have the map. It's your map. Use it. Don't do this, because right here, look at this. Right here, I mean, you wouldn't even be at risk. You would not even feel the need to press W. And if you did, you could have done so like over here instead. You could have gone for like a slam kill, right? And then ulted or whatever. And obviously the beat is pretty much raining on your parade no matter what you do. But but yeah, again, not good staging. I will say this though. I will say this. I'm not even joking, especially because you have Doomfist ultimate. I unironically want you hiding here and do like a bounce punch. I want you hiding here. I want you hiding here. I unironically. At least every now and then, you know. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that that's not an aggressive play. That's a very aggressive play, but I think it's worth it. Unironically, I want you to, especially against a comp like this with no tracer, no slumber, no ball, try it. Give it a shot. See how it goes. 400 HP, not enough. Good. Now, you didn't really... If you're not going to come from here, you don't have another option to off-angle here. Right? So there's no reason for you not to just punch slamming. You've got nothing else better to do. At least you didn't slam, right? Very good. No! No. No. That sucks. Crap. Oh no, he chunked the punch. That sucks. Yeah, I don't know about this. So I respect the fact that we're not stacking with a Rein here, that we are going from a, even though it's not a great off angle, it's enough to where that Zarya and Rein are probably not even aware that we're going in. That's enough. But it is a frontal slam, and it is directly in front of a McCree. This should have been an indicator slam, I believe. Yes. So chat, what he means by indicator slam is basically a targeted slam, which is basically means that if you're going to go for a frontal slam over tanks and onto backline, it needs to be fast. And if you're doing an if you want a fast slam, you need to walk off of the high ground. So you see how he launches his slam from the high ground? He needs to actually step off the high ground and create space between his feet and the floor, and then he's going to get a little reticle. When he sees the reticle, that means his slam is very fast. It's less damage, but it's very fast, and that's what he needs here. He needs speed, because the longer the slam goes, the more likely that they're going to be able to counter it. So you see there's no reticle here, and look at the speed of the slam. Boom, right? And that means that there's a lot of time to counterplay this with flash, to counterplay this with exit boots, to counterplay this with just simply shooting him. It's not worth the extra damage in this instance. So yes, first off, the slam, questionable. If you're going to do it, it must be an indicator or targeted slam. Probably what would have been fine, though, is just to simply split off here, all the way over here. Do you see this? Hello, Crash. And punch like this. Like, make them stop you punching you like this. Punch Rein like this. Punch Zarya like this. Something like this probably would have been a little bit safer. Like, I get the opportunity to slam like this, but I think there's just another engage is just handing itself to you. Shut up, Connor. Yeah. Like, just do this. Like, just literally just walk, charge your punch right here, and just peek, and then just bingo, bango, you know? Like, it's so easy. It's so easy to do this split, and it's so quick. Like, you need to make their Kree needs to be like legitimately like going through PTSD, trying to figure out where you're coming from. You need to be in his head, and he will kill you a couple times doing that, but you don't care. Last fight, boys. Dude, here, look at this. Look at this. Or even just wait and do this, you know, and counterpunch their Doom, or punch the Kree, or punch the BAP, or like look at how free this is. I'm saying, like, the angles here are so tight and so quick that they aren't even really flanks. They're just not. But it's opening up your target opportunity so much. It's making your engages so much safer. And it's also like actually giving you the opportunity to actually get pressure on backline. So that's what needs to be worked on with your Doomfist. Synchronize your pressure with your tank line. Make sure that your Rein is like being able to push with you to create space, and then try and get these quick splits. If the enemy comp is like really bad at scouting, or they have like no mobile heroes, then you can go like crazy. Or if you have map control and you can start like on an angle, do that.